What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Spread Astaire, joined again by AP. AP, how lucky are we? We had you on Friday to help us out to go into the weekend, and now it's Monday, and you are back on the show. How did your NBA weekend treat you?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. We had a huge shout out to my guy, the man. I met him at the MLB Live Final. Really good dude. Shipped 100K last night, so we were all in Discord
All
sweating
right.
that. Yeah, huge shout out to him. Other people in Discord, had a bunch of big wins. So it was a fun night. I think it was either Saturday. I think Saturday night was pretty good as well. So it was a good weekend overall.
All right. And Tyler just joined us. Tyler, are you listening? Is that on my end, or is AP coming out distorted to you? Because when we were talking pre-show, I didn't hear anything, and it sounded like he was getting a little bit distorted. Did you hear any of that, Tyler?
What am I listening for? AP's
Oh,
voice
so
or
you are. Yeah, AP, do you want to check the sound real quick and come back? There's some static on your voice. And that's weird because when we were talking before the show, I didn't hear any.
What about now? Is it better?
no? You're good right now.
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's this damn thing. I got to get rid of it. Anyone want a Yeti? Blue Yeti?
I'm having the same. I'm having an issue with my Yeti too. My problem is
so
just
stupid.
where it plugs in. It's not staying in plugged in now. I don't know how to take it apart to like fix it. But all right, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll go for a different podcast microphone. Tyler, right? Fresh off your week of just handing it to me. We ran pretty even on Friday, but boy, man, did I have a weekend of soul searching, right? I was out there. I'm like, I got to change my diet. I got to do something. I can't let this kid just keep beating me on the show day after day. So how's everything been with you this weekend?
That was good. Made some money on the UFC event. Made some money on the NASCAR last night with the boys. So that was good. So move on to the NBA this week.
All right. Well, Tyler has been cashing, and I'm here, but I'm ready to try and get some get back tonight. So any thoughts of the NBA over the weekend? My biggest takeaways were that, boy, LeBron is such a good player.
I got one hot take for you.
Let's go.
Brooklyn misses playoffs. Pelicans make playoffs.
So you think that Brooklyn's going to lose in the play-in, right? Because there's
Yep.
no way they won't be in the play-in. And hey, that's
The
a
way it's lining up,
possibility.
they're in a 1-1 game right now with Atlanta. Atlanta beats them in that game. They're out.
No, man, come on. A healthy KD. God, KD.
Here's the
Is
issue:
he
if
going to
they
be
get
healthy?
a
Is he
home
going to be
game
healthy in
there,
2 months
You're
after
right.
shouldering this weight?
yeah, and they might end up with the home game there, and then they're not going to have Kyrie Irving out there. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to talk about Atlanta tonight. A couple takeaways I had was LeBron, right? I mean, the guy's so good, but really, I would say the team did him a disservice. But we know he builds his roster, so really did a disservice to himself. But if he needs to score 56 to beat this version of the Warriors, I mean, wow, what has he got around him? So that's disappointing. And the other, man, is this Cavaliers team is just struck by bad luck. Now they're missing Jared Allen, right? It's just
I got different news. It's NFL news, but this is gonna be big today. Calvin Ridley suspended through at least end of 2022 season for betting on NFL games.
I mean, that can affect your mental health. I mean, you asked me. I mean, I had a rough start to the season too, so maybe that's why he needed to take some time off, right? He tailed my picks one weekend and got pretty upset there. So, boy, hey, we always appreciate the gambling news. AP, did you see that news with Jared Allen, man? Because boy, that's really tough for that Cleveland team. It just feels like they're easy to root for, right? I mean, they're kind of like the Kings or the Chicago Cubs. When they never win, it's hard to hate a team that never wins, right?
Right. How long is he out for?
Till March 28th is what it's saying right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's not good. Not good at all.
Yeah. So, all right, let's jump into tonight's slate. And Tyler, I can't wait to get you this week, man. I studied all weekend. I made sure to exercise. I'm adjusting my diet, dude. I'm going back on keto. I need to really think clearly.
That's what I need to do too.
Yeah.
The only thing that, like, when you get older, it gets tough too. Like I like my problem is not working out. I put the time in. I eat like shit. I drink. It's bad, and it catches up to you no matter how much you're working out. The only thing that's ever worked for me is keto, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I did it for like 3 months. I couldn't sustain it. So like, Spread, are you able to like keep it going? Tyler doesn't have like. You're looking at
I
Tyler.
just want to tell
doesn't
you
have
guys
that
about
worry.
this wonderful diet I eat and how I exercise every day and all this other good stuff.
It's the I'm only 25 diet, because I remember that too. No, I'm able to stay on it pretty well, AP. I actually did pretty good for about a year and a half. And then,
That's crazy.
when I went off was when I had COVID, and I was just door dashing everything, and I didn't feel like cooking. And then I kind of had like a bad winter, but now that the sun's out again, I have like incentive to go ahead and get back in shape. So I'll let you know how I'm doing. But Tyler, I'm letting you know if I do get in shape, it's because of you kicking my butt all week in these picks. So let's see how tonight goes. I'll be honest, I don't on this first game. I don't really have like a super strong lean, so I'll be pretty malleable to whatever you guys say. My numbers say this is the right number, and it's the Chicago Bulls. They'll be in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. This line is -7, right on that key number, right where teams stop fouling. Total of 233.5. If you're into that sort of thing, the Bulls are plus 243 on the money line. Tyler, you've been pretty strong about your MVP, Joel Embiid. I tweeted out how Jokic is destroying him in all these statistical categories. I know that doesn't matter to you. How are you approaching this game?
Chicago can't be good teams. We're just going to go right back to it. Give me
But can they cover against good teams is the question, right? Because the lines have adjusted. It's not like they're only laying 3 or 4.
Well, I mean, they are laying 7, but you look at their matchups in the last couple times. They played 3 times this year, this matchup.
Yeah.
Phillies won it by 5, 9, and 11. The game by 5 was when they had their good defenders on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Philly, Harden will be back on the floor. I honestly think they blow them out this game. I like the Philly -7.5. You can get Maxey 2+ threes, and Philadelphia wins at plus 140. That's my favorite play in this game because he's hit 2 threes in every game since Harden's been there. He just gets the better looks off of the passes, and he gets to get into his spots, and Harden sets him up perfectly. So that's going to be my favorite play in this game. And if you wanted to do a Harden double-double and win or an Embiid double-double and win, they're both like -120, but I don't hate those.
Which one would you like more if you had to choose?
The Embiid one.
Right.
Because I could see Harden going like 25, 8, and 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And it's so funny how that means so much to us, right? This 10 assists is so much better than 9 assists. But AP, how are you approaching tonight?
Yeah, betting wise, I don't like. I lean Philly, but that number it's a hard one to bet. Definitely can't take the Bulls here. They've had a tough stretch. A lot of tough games playing a lot of good teams. So that wears on a team. And now you go into Philadelphia. Harden was rested on the front end of the back-to-back. I think they played yesterday, or did they play Saturday? Do you guys remember?
That was Saturday in Miami.
Saturday, okay. Well, anyways, Harden is rested. He should be fresh again tonight. So, yeah, I think they win by like 9 or 10. I think the number is pretty good. But I think Philly definitely gets the win. I'm not touching the total here.
How are you approaching this with the lineup, right? I mean, we always have to consider Embiid, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty good matchup against Vukovic or whatever stiff else they want to run out there.
Yeah, tonight is DFS-wise, it's really interesting. If you remember, go check out the heat map. We have the Warriors that we're going to get to that are resting a ton of dudes. They might have like 8 guys on the number tonight. We have the Blazers in a similar situation as well. So that creates a lot of free plays, like free square type plays, really strong lead value. Now it's like mixing, it's trying to find that right combination and finding ways to get different. So we're looking for studs to pay up to. I think you could make a case for Harden, but it's like you're battling against Luka, who's rested, DeJounte Murray, LeBron. So it's going to be fun. How I'm looking at it here, I'm not really interested in the Bulls side. I have a little bit of interest in James Harden or Joel Embiid.
If Vucevic sits, they beat him by 20.
Yeah, that's a good take too.
Why would that even matter?
I mean, he's not a great defender, but he is a big body that can kind of stay in front of Embiid.
I guess rebounding he loses a lot.
You're going to put Tristan Thompson in front of him? And once he racks up the fouls on him, who else goes in there? There is nobody else.
I don't even know. That's a good point. I guess for the depth issues there, but I don't know. I think this is a tough matchup for Chicago. I really do think this is tough here. So it sounds like you guys like the Sixers. I'm fine staying away from this game. I like the next one at this 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time slot a lot better. And that's the Atlanta Hawks heading to Detroit to take on the Pistons. Pistons have taken a little money. They're +7 now. They're +7.5 earlier. Total of 228. Pistons are +263 on the money line. And Tyler, you know how much I like taking the Detroit Pistons at home. Detroit Pistons won 2 of their last 3 games. They've won 5 of their last 7. Cade's averaging 28-5 over that. And I think, what you have here is the Pistons were never really healthy at the right time, right? They started the season. Cade was missing some games. Jeremy Grant playing well. Jeremy Grant goes out. Probably good for the team overall. Gave Cade more on-ball reps. And now you see that development start to sink in. They've pretty much given up on the Killian Hayes experiment, which I also think is good. Marvin Bagley, I think he's a nice little addition. I think he's averaging 12 and 6 in just 22 minutes there off the bench. They also got Kelly Olynyk coming off the bench, so they're not getting crushed in the bench minutes like they used to. Maybe I'm underrating Atlanta, right? I've always had a problem with underrating this Hawks team. Very deep team. They can win the bench minutes very well. But I like Detroit to keep it close here. I'm going to take the points. Tyler, are we opposite?
No, I like Detroit on the side plus the 8.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
you have
Atlanta,
8?
Yeah, I have 8.
That's great.
I think Atlanta wins the game, though.
Yeah,
I think they keep it close. Atlanta needs the game more. I mean, they are fighting. They're the 10th seed. They're fighting on that play-in spot. They know there's only so many games left. Okongwu's back in the lineup tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think they pull this one off. You look at it, shooting guards and small forwards have killed this Detroit team. You can get Deandre Hunter 15-plus points, and Atlanta wins at +152. And I don't see any listed for Herter yet, but if you can get one on him at +15+ and win, if he plays, because he's also listed questionable. Mm-hmm. If he's out, then just give me the Trae Young 30+ and win, because the only usage on that offense is going to go through him, Hunter, and then maybe some of Collins. But I could see Trae Young having a big game here.
Yeah, I think Trae Young probably does have a big game here. But I also think Cade's going to have a big game too. How do you think he matches up there? Right, you would think that they have some good options, right, with DeAndre Hunter there. Okongwu can kind of try and slow down the bigger players, but it seems like whoever Hunter's not on, right, whether it be Grant or Cunningham, that's where I'm going to go. Do you agree with my assessment there, Tyler?
Yeah, I think so. I think Cade could have a big game here. I think they're going to try and hide Trae Young somewhat on. They start Corey Joseph in that lineup sometimes.
Yeah.
If he's out there, that's where they're going to hide him at.
And not the best place to hide, because Corey Joseph should not be getting NBA minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So he had 27 minutes in their last game. It's probably where they're going to hide Trae Young most of the time. I think they'll probably put Hunter on Cade if he starts to go off, but for the most part, he's going to guard Sadiq Bey, because that's their main scorer on offense.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, hey, I'll take that even more for a Cade night. AP, Tyler and I both like the Pistons plus the points, and I also think there's some interesting options here. Especially on the Detroit side in DFS. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the Pistons starting to find some form. We're also seeing that with the Rockets right now too. So these young guys are starting to figure out their game a little bit, it seems like. And I like the comments too with, Detroit just getting healthy here. But they're also 2-1 on their little 3-game road trip too. So I think that's important to note. I like the other thing too about their last games. They've stayed really competitive. So I like the points here. I think that's 3 in a row here for the Pistons side. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I think it's just a close game. I think the Hawks, win a close one. But I wouldn't be, maybe this is also a spot where we could look at one of those money line dog parlays, little 2-teamer that we've done in the past. DFS wise, for me, Trae Young, one of the premier spins I'm looking at with all that value that we talked about. Cade Cunningham too. You could also, if you're playing a lot of lineups, make a case for like Sadiq Bey. He's randomly gone off. Any of these guys could. I just want to limit it to one player from Detroit. Like, I even have Marvin Bagley in my pool. This dude, he put up 16 shots in 21 minutes last game. Put up 32.
If it wasn't for the Warriors value, right? I think you'd be making a lot stronger case. Because
but we know
he's kind of throwing him out the window, right?
Yeah. I mean, when he was, he put up some big games there with the Kings. At least fantasy wise, wasn't good defensively, but he still put up the numbers. So, DeAndre Hunter. I mean, here's where it gets like DeAndre. There's so many good value plays. A guy like DeAndre Hunter is going to go a bit overlooked. I like the matchup here. His price is low. He could be one of those little value plays that's a difference maker if he puts up a big number, coming off a nice game against the Wizards as well.
All right. Yeah, sounds like fun. And Tyler, hey, after last week, man, feels pretty good to be on the same side as you. AP, you talked about young teams finding themselves. Another opportunity for the Houston Rockets, who will be in Miami, minus 15 for the Heat. Wow. So that's a lot of points here for the Rockets. Total 224.5 plus 894. Tyler, you sent me a clip, and you're not the only one talking about Jalen Green, right? Really coming to his own the last month. Even a slower start than Cunningham, right? But both of them, I feel, have had the same level of development as the season goes on, right? And these kids are only, 19, 20 years old. So it's not a big surprise as they adjust to the pace, the speed, the physicality of the NBA game that they just grow in leaps and bounds. And I think we're seeing that from Jalen Green tonight. A little bit concerned here on the Rockets side, though. This game definitely does have blowout potential, right? They're coming off. They finally broke that 11-game losing streak. Then they go to Miami, right? Pretty fun place if you're a younger guy, right? The numbers are going to say take Houston here, but I just worry about the situational spot with the team coming off the win and then heading down to Miami. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. If I had to pick a side, I'm just going to go to the player performance doubles for my picks. But if you could only play the plus 15 or the minus 15, I think Miami blows them out today. They're coming off that big win over Memphis last night. Then they have to travel to Miami. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what time they got in. If they got in last night, maybe they partied a little bit too after the big win. So got to back Miami here. I see Gordon's out, Garuba's out, Schroeder's questionable, and then on the other side you have Martin questionable, Lowry questionable. Surprisingly, Oladipo's finally questionable. Be surprised to see him play tonight.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's a change.
So, and then with the blowout potential, I'm not looking to back Bam or Jimmy in the prop market. Mm-hmm. Vincent at 9.5 points, if he gets all the point guard run, I love that prop. And then Duncan Robinson has caught fire in certain games. If there's ever a game where a team's just going to give him a bunch of open looks, it's off a big win on a back-to-back, him running around these screens. Him over 2.5 threes plus 135. You could bet him all the way up to 5 plus on FanDuel and get plus 850. I would just ladder bet that because if this does blow out, he's one of the guys that will still get a little bit of run. And he could even rack up those threes in the first quarter for you. So that's how I'm going to approach this game.
All right. Yeah, AP, I think this is it is a fun game for betting the NBA, right? Because I think it shows that you can't just run a model, go what it says, and then place your bet. Because like I said, situationally, this seems like a terrible spot for Houston. The plus 15 looks so tempting, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to stay away from this game. How are you approaching it?
Yeah, I mean, that game was fun last night with Houston. I had one of my builds with KPJ, Christian Wood, and a little stack there, and it played out pretty nicely for me. The one thing, like centers, just smash against. So, like, I'm not betting this game. I agree with the blowout. This game's going to be a disaster. I have the Rockets' whole team as a pure fade on DraftKings, but the interesting point is centers against Houston. Like, we're going on like a 7, 8, 9, 10-game stretch where centers just crush. Like Steven Adams put up like a 55-piece, I think, last night. Like monster game. I know Big T was really high on him. It was one of his plays of the day. So I'm looking at Bam, but I do worry, like Tyler said, I worry about the minutes a little bit, the rotation we've seen. So in a blowout, we've seen Bam come in right around 24 to 26, sometimes 27 minutes, right in that range. And he's put up the numbers to make it work, but you need a lot of efficiency there. And they could get Kyle Lowry back tonight. Oladipo's questionable. He could return. In that scenario, it's tough. So I am leaning to be off of this game. I think that's definitely going to play. And then, I was trying to think of, well, maybe we play the blowout script. The problem is you have Dedmon and you have Yurtseven. So what you would see, Dedmon's going to get the backup run. Then once the game's blown out, they're going to put Yurtseven in there. So you're not even going to get the full blowout run from Dedmon either. He's just going to be capped at what his minutes typically are.
All right, let's go into another game that definitely has blowout potential. The Portland Trailblazers are plus 14 in Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves. Total of 231, plus 822 here. So another big money line for the Trailblazers. Tyler, Timberwolves have won 12 of their last 16 games. Trailblazers were playing really good going into the All-Star break. They've been playing really bad since. They've lost their last 4 games by an average of 28 points per game, right? So two teams headed in opposite directions. In this one, I think I would lean towards the favorite a little more. The Blazers have not been offering much in the way of resistance, but at the same time, I'm a minus 14. I'm also fine just scratching this one off the card altogether. How are you approaching it?
Yeah, this game, I mean, you look at Portland's games outside of that All-Star break, 0-4 straight up, 0-4 ATS. They've lost them games by 37, 32, 30, and 14. Mm-hmm. That one game with the 14 number was against Minnesota in their last game, but you had Anthony Simons drop 38 points. He's not playing tonight. They really don't have anybody else that could pick up that offensive usage. Like, I don't see Josh Hart going out there and hanging a 40 ball. Like, there's really CJ Elby's not going to do it. And then even with the Minnesota injuries on this side, like Patrick Beverly questionable, Russell questionable, Anthony Edwards probably not playing tonight, Prince questionable, Reed questionable. Cat's going to eat this team up. Malik Beasley will step in and take the guard duties. So I like both of those guys. You could do a Cat 30 plus and win at about plus 150 on FanDuel. I like that. And I would play Malik Beasley's threes up to over 3.5 at plus money. And then if you had to pick a side, I think Minnesota blows them out. I just don't see how this G League team keeps up with them. And they're going to push the pace. So give me Minnesota.
I mean, let's be honest. I think going into that All-Star break, it kind of scared them, right? They sent McCollum out. They sent Covington and their veterans out. They said, all right, guys, we're going to tank. We'll have a high pick to either trade to add to Lillard or someone to build around in the future, right? You know, gives them plenty of options. Then they win 4 in a row, and they're like, whoa, hold on, right? All of a sudden, Nurkic sits down, you know. Simons, right? If they were in the middle of a playoff race, I'll bet you he'd be able to play tonight. So I agree with you there, man. This has a lot of blow-up potential. Our guy Dennis Nedry says Karl Anthony Towns is the spend-up tonight. Do you agree, AP?
Yeah, he's one of the options. I mean, we have a lot of really good options tonight. We have Luka, we have LeBron, DeJounte Murray. Karl Anthony Towns is definitely in the discussion. For sure in that center spot. So I'm looking at this, like I'm pulling up the record right now. Let me just see where they're at. They're in the 7th spot, and then looking at who they have coming up. So they play Port. They're going to get a win tonight. They play OKC at Orlando. So you got to think they're going to get 3 wins in a row. I think the Wolves are. Then you get a tougher stretch. You get Miami, tough game, probably not going to win it. San Antonio. They could get that win. Lakers, depends on how LeBron's playing. If he played like he played the other night, tough game. Then the Bucks, Dallas, Phoenix, Dallas, Boston, the Nuggets, and then their last few games are too tough. So I don't know. I'm really curious to follow the injury news here. We have D'Lo questionable, Taurean Prince, Naz Reid, Pat Bev all questionable. Anthony Edwards unlikely to play. Seems like a good spot for them to just get their guys healthy. So keep an eye on D'Lo if he plays. If he doesn't, I still think that they get the job done here very easily. If he does miss, then yes. So like what I was getting to was Karl Anthony Towns would be the premier play tonight. But I think he is anyway. Like Drew Eubanks, Trendon Watford. I mean, these guys aren't. Greg Brown's going to get some minutes. Like these guys aren't going to stop Cat. So. Give me, tough to bet here, but I do like the blowout. I just don't see how they keep it close. And then the total is kind of tough too. Like, and with no Anthony Simons, where's the scoring going to come from? I mean, Josh Hart, he's going to have a monster night for him to do that. The other thing, I think he's a solid play on DraftKings and a DFS. But one thing, if you use an optimizer to keep in mind, so you want to play around with his projection a little bit. If you fade him for another value piece, you can get 2 to potentially 3 studs versus like a 1 stud and a couple of those mid-tier guys. So something to keep in mind. I think Josh Hart, for him to really, for you to really want him tonight, you need at least like 42, 43, if not a little bit more at that 7-4 price tag. So Yeah, I'm going to be out this game. Lean Minnesota. I would like to lean the overs because Minnesota, even in blowouts, they don't play defense. It's usually when the defense lacks, and it's just kind of, it becomes just like a street game. So slight lean to the over.
All right.
Wouldn't you just want to take like a Minnesota team total over instead and just keep Portland out of the equation?
I like that. What is it, 123? I think that's a good
right
number.
around that. Yeah, right around that number.
But
I would
DFS wise, Brandon Williams. So if you look at who can run point, like Brandon Williams, along with Jordan Poole, but he's clearly one of the top values. Like he's going to have to play a ton of minutes. The ball's going to be in his hands. He looked decent. He definitely looked decent last game. So I'm excited to see 36 to 38 minutes from him. I think he's going to put up a nice number for us relative to his price.
All right, Brandon Williams, some good value. And boy, this is a great stars and scrubs slate. So, all right, the two blowouts are out of the way. And now we got a couple games to talk about that are closely lined. And I'll tell you what, I like these games a lot more than the last couple that we talked about. The first, the Los Angeles Lakers coming off that big win that we referenced earlier. What a performance from LeBron James. You can say a lot about the guy, but you can't deny his basketball ability. What we're seeing is truly unprecedented. The San Antonio Spurs are at home against the Lakers, -2.5. With a high total of 236. Makes sense, though, right? As neither team has been that good defensively as of late. Lakers are +121 on the money line. I think this is a great spot for the Spurs. You're getting them coming off. They finally got the win. They finally get a little bit of relaxation. The tension's gone. But like I said early, if LeBron's got to score 56 points to beat this Warriors team that's lost 8 of their last 10, that's just not a good sign for all the help that he's getting from his teammates. And, we've talked before about the disservice that he did to himself and assembling this roster, right? They have a couple nice young pieces, but a lot of the pieces are older or the same age as LeBron, but haven't aged, right, with that same gracefulness that LeBron James has. The Spurs finally settling in at home after, they spent the whole month of February on the road for that rodeo road trip, right? So I think they should settle down a little bit. The Spurs beat the Lakers in that earlier meeting in Los Angeles this season. That was in December. I like the Spurs to get it done again. Like I said, if the Lakers had lost again, I think it'd be a little different. Coming off a win, maybe a little bit of relaxation. Spurs have lost 4 in a row. Hopefully a little bit of desperation there. What do you think, Tyler? Have I approached this one the right way?
I'm staying away from the side because I see Devin Vassell doubtful, Lonnie Walker doubtful, Keita Bates-Diop doubtful. So that's a couple guys in this Spurs rotation.
But let's be honest, only one of those guys matters, right?
I mean, Lonnie Walker.
Are you really worried about Lonnie Walker?
He has good game spread. That's another body out of the rotation. Okay. Who you putting in? Right. So
I'm running my starters more minutes. I mean, it's close to the end of the season.
One of those guys, two of those guys are your starter spread.
Well, okay, Vassell's a big deal. Vassell's a big deal. I'm already granting you that. I'm just saying I'm not really worried about Walker or Diop personally.
I mean, I'd be a little more worried about Walker, but I'm not going to play the side because I could see either team winning this game with all the guys out. Point guards against the Lakers average 24.7 rebounds, 9 assists. Just give me Murray's triple-double like the people said in the chat, and that's going to be my only bet for this game.
No Murray double-double. Oh, because you don't have a side.
I mean, if you think they win, I don't hate the double-double and win and even the triple-double and win, but I'm not pinning down the Spurs to win this game. Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see LeBron rip off like 3 giant performances and then pick up 3 straight wins.
An interesting way to do it, though. What if you tried to arb it, right, with a DeJounte, performance double and then a LeBron performance double, right?
Oh, you could do that. You could definitely
with the close
do that.
spread. Yeah.
Like the double-double and win on Murray and maybe a 30-plus and win on LeBron.
Yeah. All right, so I seem to like the Spurs. We the people agrees that maybe I'm underrating Lonnie Walker, and you guys probably could be right. I probably am underrating him. At least we all agree that the Diop shouldn't factor into our handicap. AP, how are you approaching this one?
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs really bad defensively. Lost 4 in a row. They had a little stretch there, but no, I mean, I think. LeBron, like I see the Lakers coming. I say it's easy to fall into this trap. So let me preface it with that. But it's with that performance LeBron had. I mean, his teammates better come out and play hard tonight because he absolutely carried them against the Warriors. And I think Tyler's right. I see a couple of big games from LeBron. I think he follows it up here tonight, has another big one. We're back to playing LeBron at the 5, so in DFS, he becomes a nice play. And he's not overpriced either. And you got all these role pieces that it's like, I mean, so DFS, you're only looking at, in my opinion, Malik Monk right now, LeBron James, maybe Carmelo Anthony, because he'll randomly have those games against teams that don't play defense where he hits his 3 and goes off. So for me, I like the Lakers here. I like the Lakers side, and this is going to be a game where LeBron and DeJounte Murray. I think those two and that stack right there is the premier stack on the slate tonight. Definitely one that I'm going to have playing DeJounte and LeBron against each other with all that value that we talked about.
Yeah, that does look like a pretty good
they don't have many bodies to throw at LeBron either that are even quick enough or big enough to guard him. Like, again, this is the same spot Embiid could do to Tristan Thompson if Vucevic is out. Mm-hmm. If it's Keldon Johnson
or even if he's in.
Yeah, if it's Keldon Johnson and, I mean, Doug McDermott can't cover LeBron. Josh Primo can't. Zach Collins can't. The moment he gets Keldon Johnson into foul trouble, watch out because he's just going to keep pouring in buckets.
Yeah, could be another historic performance from LeBron tonight. Got a question from Richie Smalls. He wants to know, this is for UAP, is Primo a solid pivot off of Williams ownership?
I mean, Williams is so like Josh Primo's a good pivot off of Moses Moody, who we're going to talk about. He's a good pivot off of Keon Johnson, not a good pivot off of Brandon Williams. I'm literally considering locking 2 guys into every single build tonight, and that's Jordan Poole, Brandon Williams. Going to have extremely high ownership to them. You could also make the case for like a Damian Lee and Jonathan Kuminga. We're going to get into that game, but I wouldn't pivot off of Williams for Primo, but I would off of like Keon Johnson, those type of plays. So yeah, Primo I think is a good play as well, and then Malik Monk in tournaments. I mean, this guy, they got to play him minutes. He looked good again. Another one of the reasons why they got that win over the Warriors. He was awesome defensively. He hit some key shots. He got boards and he got some assists too. So he is like, man, like I just removed Russell Westbrook now anymore. Like I don't care what his price is. The guy is just, he doesn't work on this team. So they got a problem to figure out for sure.
Great answer there, AP, and I'm sure Richie appreciates that. Right, real clear answer where you sat on that question. This is from Dennis again. This is for you, Tyler. I think I already know the answer, right, from our breakdown. But like I said, let's be real clear. LeBron over 30.5. You like it?
Yes. I think he clears that number tonight. I think he closes in on 40, maybe goes over that number if he stays hot from last game. Okay. And then Richie Smalls was asking in the chat about the Keldon Johnson props.
Yeah, I was going to do that one next.
Yeah. I don't mind those. My only worry there is he is probably going to have the assignment of chasing LeBron around. He might tire out, and then foul trouble could screw you there. So I would target Murray more.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good answer there, too. Anything more on this game before we move on?
I mean, if you're playing like 150, like I still have like Zach Collins in my pool. I have Trey Jones in my pool. I do think the Warriors the Lakers.
First.
I think they get a nice win here. I think LeBron. You remember that stretch where LeBron just looked phenomenal? He was hitting every single shot. I think we're going to see another one of those type of stretches right now. As they finish up the season.
All right. Well, hey, yeah. All right. So we're opposite there. But hey, I'll be honest.
Hopefully JSU's not watching because this is too much LeBron love. But I already got warned the other day. I got warned after that night. We had to stop all the LeBron James chat. There's too much going on in Discord. So hopefully JSU's not watching. I don't want to get that second warning.
All right. Well, shouts out to JSU. My guess is he is, and you might be getting a DM a little bit later. Here's a guy that JSU loves to talk about. Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks are hosting the Utah Jazz. The Mavericks are -2 in this game. Boy, this was -1 this morning. They've taken a little bit of money, and why not? The Jazz are not the same team on the road. 216.5 is the total, plus 122 if you want that Jazz money line This is a tough game for me to bet. I bet the Mavericks when they were in Utah. I had them at +6. They lost by 5, right? So I feel like there hasn't been a lot of in and out with these lineups. I feel like the numbers that everybody has, not just me, are pretty accurate on these two teams, and this line is just about right. It's a pick the winner, and I think that if you have a situational handicap or a way that you want to approach it, I'm fine. I say, hey, go ahead, get involved. But I'm just telling you, I don't think statistically or numerically you're going to find a mistake with this line that the books have posted when it comes to the side. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think the line's pretty much dead on. However, Rudy Gobert being on the questionable report makes me love Dallas even more because now the line's moving in Dallas's favor, so he might likely sit here.
Do you think he will?
They played last night in OKC, now traveling down to Dallas. I know it's not a far travel, but still, you play a game, jump on a plane, now you got to play another game.
Are you going to sit out a game, though, with the team that you're 2.5 games above the standing with, what do we have, like 18 games to go?
I mean, if this injury is true, it's a left calf one. You're not going to run him out there.
Good point.
And then the other thing is this team isn't the same away from Utah. They dominate teams when they play at home.
Mm-hmm.
They are 1-4 ATS on their last 5 on the road. And they can't cover against teams like OKC. And then you look at Dallas at home. They're 5-2 in their last 7 at home against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luka lights them up from 3 tonight. Because even if Gobert plays, he's not going to go down there and try and test them. He's just going to shoot threes on them. So you could do the Luka 4+ threes and win. It's about +380. That's how I'm going to approach this game. And I would even bet his threes up to over 3.5 at plus money.
Yeah, they weren't threes, but towards the end of that game that I referred to, because I was watching it pretty intently, they switched Gobert onto Luka a couple times in the mid-range area. Gobert played admirable defense there. I was pretty impressed with that. So maybe you're right. Maybe move back a little farther to really.
And I see Brunson's out for Dallas. That just means more usage for Luka. I mean, we've seen him take 30+ shots in a game.
Yeah.
So he might do that again here. And then the other thing, spread is since January 1st, they've lost 2 home games.
Yeah, I mean, since January 1st, they're the second best defense in the league too.
Yeah, 1 to Phoenix and 1 to the Clippers by 1, who we know is their arch rival. So give me Dallas
that's
tonight.
Weird. Yeah. All right. Uh-oh, this isn't good because this guy's been just as hot as you, Tyler.
And we've been on the same page. We've been on the same page for a lot of games.
I know.
Oh, blows them out.
Man,
man.
I felt like the British just getting dominated by we the people. AP, how are you approaching this game?
Yeah, so I'm with Tyler on this one. I like the Mavericks. Luka is rested. He should be nice and fresh tonight. The Jazz obviously played yesterday, but they did rest just Mike Conley, actually. So, I like the Mavericks here. The one thing, too, DFS-wise, like Luka, and maybe this was because of Gobert, so he put up like 51 DK points, and that was on 8 of 24 shooting. So maybe that had something to do with a little bit of Gobert defense. I did not catch that game, so that was an interesting comment there by you, Spread. But man, with no Dinwiddie in there, it's more usage for Luka. I also think, or with no Brunson in there, more usage for Luka for sure. Like the ball is going to be, he's going to run the entire offense. The other thing too is like Brunson can create, and he crashes the boards too, so he takes rebounds away from Luka as well. Dinwiddie is going to be another guy that I think is a little bit interesting, but he's in that range where Jordan Poole is, and Jordan Poole is just, probably the best overall play on the slate. But I like Luka here. I think he's one of the best spends. He's up there with, honestly, probably a better spend than even like LeBron or DeJounte. I'd put those three are tough to rank right now. Okay. Yeah, it's look like Luka with he could put up 70 here, like 70 DK points, not actual points. He just did it against the Warriors. He 84 against the Pels. Like he went on a stretch where he was just on a tear. So I could definitely see him having a monster game tonight.
All right, another one from We the People. He's been hot. We got to throw his comments in here. He says the pick and roll with Mitchell and Gobert cannot be stopped by the Mavs. That's a great notice, and we'll see if that plays out again tonight, or if it was a lot more effective in Utah. In Dallas, in Utah than it will be in Dallas tonight. Another kind of blowout game, but AP, you love this. for DFS. For gambling, I don't know. I kind of threw this one out the window, I'll be honest. Denver Nuggets are -8.5 against the Warriors, right? And so, right, I'm looking last night and I go, Warriors are catching 7? Let me get this right now before it moves, right? Oh,
Right.
now I see why. Then I go, is that enough? And obviously not, because it's moved another 1.5 today. So the market didn't think that the -7 that originally opened at was enough. Tyler, this is a tough one for us to cap, right? Throw the numbers out the window with everybody out. For those who don't know, I'll read the report. Gary Payton, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, of course, Wiseman, Iguodala, Andrew Wiggins, and Steph Curry all out. Juan Toscano Anderson, Otto Porter, Will Barton. Will Barton's on the Denver, but Toscano and Porter both questionable here for the Warriors. My guess is that they're going to try and get them play with everyone else sitting. Barton and Zeke Naji on the list as well for Denver. Boy, it's got to be weird for Denver being the team with more depth and more health tonight, but that seems to be the case. But we've talked about it before, Tyler. This Nuggets team does have problems blowing teams out, which is why even though, it's the Santa Cruz Warriors essentially, I've had problems, jumping in and laying it with Denver, right? Because we talk about this team is not a team that blows out their opponents. What are your thoughts?
Give me Golden State. Give me, +8 right now? +8 with a bunch of guys on the floor that are going to try their ass off tonight because they don't get minutes.
I love it.
Against the team that just played an overtime game last night and their star played 46 minutes. Yeah, give me Golden State tonight.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're coming in with conviction because I was fence sitting.
They have trouble closing. Jokic sat out a couple games too. I won't be surprised if that quote-unquote illness pops up again tonight because this game doesn't mean much. After all that run last night, he's definitely gassed. You can't tell me that pudgy bastard ain't gassed. So
in better shape.
And then, they get killed by wings still, Denver does. Like, this is a game Kuminga could have a big game. Moody could have a big one. Just like AP said, Jordan Poole, Damian Lee if they put him out there. So it's just like, even with the guys on the injury report, I think these hungry guys are going to play well, and they're going to keep this game close. Give me Golden State plus the points.
I love it, Tyler. Kid's on fire, and how can you go against him?
And then it's just an obvious one. Give me the under. Denver's going to have tired legs. Golden State's guys might play more defensively sound than offense here. So I like the under.
All right. And AP, I think this is kind of the premier game of the slate here when we're talking about DFS. And I'm just saying, I think you're going to have to get this game right to be, in the cashing lineups. How are you approaching this one?
Yeah. So we saw this scenario, what was the date? February 1st against the Spurs, where Kerr decided to punt, threw out all the scrubs against a fully loaded, like Pirtle, DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, all of them were playing. Even Doug McDermott was in there. They had a healthy squad, and this team battled, man. They were down by 17 late there or early in the fourth. They battled back, got the win. This team had a ton of heart. I love that. I think that's a phenomenal. That might be the best bet of the night. And if you wait a little bit longer, maybe you'll get a better number too. Unless they sit Jokic too, because you have to think about that. Like Boogie played 10 minutes last night. Jokic played a ton. He played almost the entire game. Boogie looked good the other night when he carried the team. Like, he looked really good. So this could be a great spot for them to just Malone to throw Boogie out there, let him and these other guys, let him and Will Barton. Will Barton needs to go out there and have an actual decent game. He's been terrible all season long. So I would keep an eye on the news here. Obviously, as of right now, Jokic is playing. That's what the line, thinks. But who knows? This is at this point in the season, getting your guys healthy is really important. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something funny happen. Additionally, Otto Porter and
Toscano.
Toscano, they're both downgraded to questionable. So if those two are out, I would probably lock Poole and Kuminga into, and Damian Lee into all my lineups. I think those three are going to be the three key pieces. Lee, you can play a small forward on DraftKings, so an important spot there. I would also Bielita. I'd look at him too if JTA was out, and then Moses Moody I think is fine as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering here if Denver is currently 38-26. They're 2.5 games ahead of the Timberwolves for that guaranteed playoff spot, right? No play in there because they're 6. Minnesota's 7. Minnesota's won 12 of their last 16. I really wonder if they sit Jokic there. Seems to me I would take the easy win if I was Mike Malone. But as you guys in the DFS world know, right, Mike Malone doesn't always do what we expect here.
Do you guys think he's sitting all his guys because this is his potential first-round matchup too? Doesn't want him getting a feel for him, like bring out all the big names home. Yeah. Let the G Leaguers run out there because they're probably going to fall into the 3 seed with Memphis taking the 2. And I think they know that. Denver probably stays at 6. This is your matchup, so don't give them anything to build on.
I think they just want to give some of their guys some rest.
I think that's
it's been a little tough without Draymond. Obviously, they need Draymond back. They need him to get healthy. Need him to get back, and this team, the Warriors will be fine when that happens.
Yeah. I think it's just not necessarily random, but they're not winning anyways, so might as well get these guys rested here, and like you said, maybe drop down to the 3 seed. Final game of the night, Tyler. Our 2 favorite teams play each other. Isn't this fun, right? As the Kings have secured an NBA record, 16 straight losing seasons, right? So great job, Vivek. Way to rebuild this team. But I'll tell you what, I like them tonight against the Knicks. And it's one of those cases where just because the Knicks are coming off the win, it makes me like the Kings a little more, right? They had lost 7 in a row going to the game with the Clippers last night, up by 30 at some point. They won by close to 20-something. I think it was 23 points total. But that was in Los Angeles last night. They got to travel up to Sacramento tonight. Sacramento, I hope they'd be motivated. They're coming off of, once again, another disappointing loss. How much were they up by against Dallas? I'm not sure, but it was more than 10 points going into halftime, and they get absolutely crushed. De'Aaron Fox's 44 points go to waste as they fall to the Mavericks. But what else is new in the life of a Kings fan? But they're not playing Dallas tonight. They are playing the Knicks. Sabonis and Randall can do the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other, right, with their same games, all offense, all stats, no defense. So that should be a lot of fun. But I like the Kings to get it done at home tonight just because I think it's a bad spot for the Knicks. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Kings win this game. I mean, the Knicks on the road have been terrible. Even just in their last 13 games, they're 3-10 ATS. And then on the road, they're 3-7 in their last 10 on the road. Sacramento in their last 5 games, they're 4-1 ATS. Way better team at home. We've touched on how bad they are on the road, and we like to fade them on the road. This is the perfect matchup for Fox to have another big game against this bad defense against point guards. And then Sabonis should also have a big game. So I don't hate doing Sabonis double-double and win. And Fox, 28-plus points and win is a good one. And even sprinkling on his double-double and win because he got a double-double recently. This is another spot where he could just feed Sabonis easy buckets. His double-double wins plus 900. So I'm definitely willing to sprinkle on that.
I like that a lot. Richie Smalls is against us here. He wants the Mitch Rob double-double. And the Knicks win. We the People likes RJ Barrett over on PRA. What do you think of that one, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't hate that one. I mean, since he came back, he's been their main offensive focus. So he will have the ball in his hands for most of this game. Unless he gets into foul trouble. That's the only way that kills you.
All right. And Jake's joining me here. He says he likes Sacramento here as well. Kings have actually played well lately. Knicks on a back-to-back here. I think the Kings win it. Yeah, when the Kings have gone against non-playoff teams since the trade, they're 1-0. Every other game they haven't played too well. AP, how are you approaching it?
Yeah, so another island game, kind of interesting, in DFS. Like a lot of people don't play these games just because if you get some late news, there's very little that you can do, to pivot. However, so betting wise, I like. Do I trust the Kings? No, not at all. Sorry, Fred. I don't.
For good reason.
Do I trust the Knicks? No, not at all. So it's just one of those spots where it's like, if you have a good read on it, trust your read. I don't. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's the Knicks have struggled defensively. I agree with Tyler. Fox is one of the guys I'm looking at. They're like no one's really been playing him that much. Like I played him not against Dallas, but definitely against the Spurs. The Dallas game was like an island game. But he's like locked into 39, 40 minutes. He's playing a ton of minutes, and I like this matchup for him. I think he has himself a nice game. Then Sabonis, I haven't gotten him right at all with the Kings when it comes to fantasy, and I think there's better. Like I'd rather pay a little bit more for like Towns. There's a few other plays that I think are just a little bit better than him tonight, but he could get it done. Who knows? I don't love the matchup in there against Mitch Robb, but who knows? Dante DiVincenzo I think is interesting. So I like this role. Running the second unit, saw almost 34 minutes against Dallas. He could be a sneaky play there in the fantasy street. So he's someone I bumped up a little. I bumped his projection up to like 29. So I think he could be loaned and could be kind of a little value hammer that's going to be a little bit different than some of these other plays that we talked about. Much riskier because those other plays, Damian Lee, and those types are probably going to get more minutes. But I like the production out of Dante in the second unit.
All right, and I think this is a great question because I personally don't know the answer. Walla Dose, always love to see you in the chat, Walla. He wants to hit Cam Reddish props. He should get a few more minutes coming off the great fourth quarter last night. With Thibodeau,
I can't.
Yeah,
the only way I'm betting a Cam Reddish prop is if the points prop's 1.5 and he's got to give me 1 bucket. Because he might not get enough time to get that 1 bucket tonight, regardless of how good he played in that fourth quarter.
And the crazy thing is, it's like Evan Fournier is getting minutes over him. So in my head, I would think that Thibodeau would go with Reddish. He's a much better defender. I don't understand what's going on there at all.
He must like the vets over the young guys too.
I don't think
he likes Cam Reddish's work ethic. I don't think he likes it. I think there's something there that they don't like each other.
Well, I think Cam Reddish is a great prospect, and I think that his handling to Cam Reddish, if it wasn't already, I think it's sealed the fact that he's gone at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He's gone at the end of the season. Yeah, but so Joey says Fournier just got paid. Yeah, but is that going to matter? Thibodeau seems like a guy that's like he's going to play his guys. I don't know. I'm really surprised at the Fournier love there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're dropping him for cap space.
I mean, if you had to put a starting lineup out of this team, what would you send out?
Now,
I'm probably
quickly Barrett, Cam, Randall,
and then who's 5? Mitch. That's probably the 5 you have to send out.
Yeah, I like it.
I think that's what they should do, but instead there's Fournier in there. I don't even know who's starting point guard for him anymore. They just switch it every game.
Yeah. So, anything else on this game, AP?
No, I think it's getting RJ Barrett, De'Aaron Fox. One of those type of pieces I think is interesting, though.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, I think some low ownership there, right? With a lot of people knowing late news, and you are in trouble here. So let's go ahead and get to the best bets. Since AP's on, let's build the core. You want to build the core? Tyler, you ready to build the core for us?
Oh, it's almost too easy tonight.
I know. That's why I want to do it, right?
Yeah. All right, you guys go first because there's too many.
I'm going to take the free square, Jordan Poole.
All right, we got Poole.
Right? I mean, that's the free square, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything because I always take Tyler's guys. So
I'm taking Cat. I'm just taking the most obvious one.
All right.
You got Towns. Okay, so we got Poole, we got Towns, and then who do you want to fill in there for us, AP?
Yeah, well, I mean, Brandon Williams, I said, was the guy I'm pretty much locking in tonight. So, I mean, go look at his highlights last. I know it was against the Wolves weren't really playing like that great a defense, but I don't know. He looked pretty good. Undrafted rookie or undrafted dude that developed a little bit in the G League. It looks like he has some game. We got one more.
We got one more.
Towns. Let's see. Let's Kuminga. I think Kuminga is. We need a power forward. Let's go, Jonathan Kuminga.
I like that too. I really like loading up on the Warriors tonight. And no one asked it in the chat, but I think it's an appropriate question. How many Warriors is too many tonight?
I mean, so the question. I would say like 4. 3 to 4 is a good number. The reason is, one, the Blazers are in also a good situation with Brandon Williams. Even Trendon Watford off the bench, I think he's a fine play. Josh Hart. So you're going to be mixing and matching those two teams, and then you're going to be spinning up for some of these studs. That's going to be the common recipe tonight. So everyone knows this. It's no secret. So you got to find a way to get a little bit different that's better than everyone else.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Tyler, what's your best bet for today's side total prop?
My favorite one's going to be that Maxey 2+3s and Philly wins.
Okay. What do you got for us, AP?
I mean, we got PGA. We got a big week, so this is the Big T's anniversary. Won the Millie last year at the Players Championship, so I think we're coming out with a promo. So stay on board. We got the Hardwood Show coming up at 4:45. So here in a few minutes, and a lot of NBA this week. PGA. Is tennis going on? Spread? What's going on with tennis?
It starts
right
on
now?
Wednesday. They'll have the draw today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. They're doing qualifying right now. I usually don't get involved in qualifying because usually they don't broadcast it, and I like to do a lot of tape study.
You also need my best bet, right? Was that the original question?
Yeah, but it's fine. People want to know what's going on here.
It's a Monday. It's a Monday, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling slow today. So content's all up though. So already put the work in, but definitely feeling it. I had to load up on the coffee. Lakers +2.5. I think the Lakers win. If you want to take it a step further, play that money line. So I think we see a big game out of LeBron again.
All right, and give me the Detroit Pistons +7.5 if you can find it. It's down to +7 on Bookmaker. I didn't head over to Bovada, but usually they got a little better number for the offshore guys. And Tyler said he found an 8 there, so I like the Pistons plus the points tonight. Tyler, no baseball yet, but that still doesn't mean you can't hit a home run parlay. Do you have any looks here, or are we gonna have to wait and see it in the Discord?
Nope, we got one right here. I'm gonna try and pin this down. It's been tough for me all year. I just think this matchup perfect for him. Duncan Robinson 4+3s, Miami wins will be the first leg. That Maxey 2+3s and Philly wins is the next one.
All right.
And then DeJounte Murray to record a triple-double will be the last leg. Not DeJounte Murray triple-double and win, just him to get a triple-double. And that gets you 38-1.
38-1. All right. I love it. AP, you already broke down the content. But if you wanted access to that content and you haven't already, make sure you head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code GETBETS to become a member. And as usual, I forgot it. Richie, oh, there he is. He's reminding me now. I always forget. You guys are so much better than me at the Hardwood Live Show. I'm reminding you about, hey, guys, we're here every day doing this, giving you guys our best information, talking through the picks, taking victory laps, taking L's, doing everything we can to make you guys the best NBA bettors you can be. So just please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends, right? Give me a retweet, put it in a group chat, whatever you can do to go ahead and grow up, because you can see as I'm using the comments and the questions from the chat, all the show growing does is just make it a better show with better information. Sometimes I miss stuff. And even we asked earlier, we said, hey, who's the point guard, right? Because Tyler's like me with the Kings and the Knicks, right? This is painful to watch, right? I'm going to choose some other games. I'm not going to watch my favorite team. And Walla Walla let us know, hey, Alec Burks has been the point guard since Walker sat down. So if there's stuff that we missed or we overlooked, we always appreciate the chat picking up the slack for us and helping us just become the best NBA gambling show available on the web. Tyler, any words of wisdom for the people before we sign off?
Nope, just subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, with more NBA picks.
Yeah, I can't wait. AP, thank you for joining us on a Monday. So we will see you. It'll be next Friday. It'll be a little while before we see you, but we'll definitely be looking forward to that. And
actually, next Friday I'll be out.
Oh, you'll be in Arizona, huh? All right,
we'll
figure that out. Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
If everything's going like I think it is, it might just be a me and Tyler day. But
we'll find.
We'll find out.
There's going to be someone in Tony's studio at all times. Doing content. That's how it was last.
Either using the Peloton or doing content. One of the two. Any other words of wisdom there for the people, AP?
No, I think tonight is going to be fun. DFS wise, it's. I like these slates, but at the same time, they can be tilting because we all know what the best plays are. It comes down to, trusting your reads and getting the right combinations in there.
Yeah, I think this one's fun too, especially, for members, because you guys are going to give us all the value, right? And then I think most of us that watch basketball, even if we're not DFS pros, we know what spend ups we want in certain matchups, right? Because these are the stars that everybody's talking about, that we're all thinking about, that dominate the TV time. So it's almost, instead of choose your own adventure, right? Choose your own spend up here. And I feel like it's going to be a great evening for that.
So you need to find the Bojan of last night. If you can find, so he hit 11 3-pointers at a 50 piece on DraftKings. If you can find that guy tonight, you're going to be mint, because all of these other plays are going to be great. And it's that one play is going to get you different. I wish I knew who it was. Hopefully, by the time we get up to lock, we have it figured out. But either way, I do like these nights where the plays are pretty clear.
All right. Yeah. And, to help find that guy, of course, Run Pure Sports will be having the Hardwood live show kick off in 15 minutes. And then for the members, the Up to Lock show, right, as they navigate any late news that we weren't aware of while doing this show. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. Thank you for joining us, and Run Pure.